cracking, YouTube? You're inside the Tuskegee Experience with your boy Tuskegee 87, aka Joe Daddy. And today I'm gonna be talking about something near and dear to a lot of travelers' hearts, and that's the air transportation system. The reason why I decided to bring this up again, because of the main categories that I like to talk about: guns, cars, planes, trains. I want to educate people on what's going on out there in the world, and if you're interested in things of this nature, which if you're a freaking flyer and traveler, you should be greatly interested in this. But again, another reason why I talk about this, I'm actually just now coming back home from going home, seeing the fam, and it occurred to me that, you know, the air transit system could be a lot more smoother, could be a lot more efficient, and make a lot of customers happy. Uh-oh, here go the Wally Riders. Oh yeah, there she go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There's some, you know what? See, that's what I'm talking about in my last few videos. Not all Harley riders are assholes. See, they waved at me. The chick was up front. She was like, "Hey there, I see you." Man, she threw it out there before I got my arm fully extended. That's what I'm talking about. See, those are the Harley riders I like. They're like, "Hey, you're on two wheels. I'm on two wheels. Let's wave and shake hands." Because you know what? We doing the same thing. We got the same endorsement. We got the same freaking mechanics. Anyway, so yeah, the air transit system is just something that I wanted to talk about with you all. A lot of travelers, well, while they don't mind, they would prefer that they get to their destination sooner rather than later. And as you can see with the transformation of the security protocols within the airports itself, I mean, it doesn't make it any better. Now, hey look, free meals free. Anyway, so you can see how security has changed, where it used to be you could just go in, take your belt off, take your jacket off, walk through the thing, and you're good to go. Now you have to take your shoes off, take all your jewelry off, take your pacemaker off, you got to take the metal joints out of your hips off, put them in a bowl and pass it through. And you also got to go through this evasive looking x-ray machine, basically. Now, it's not really that revealing. I mean, it just shows a figure, an outline, a silhouette. It doesn't show anything like an actual x-ray would per se. But what their machine does, I forget what it's called, what the specific name of it is, but anyway, when you walk through that machine and you put your hands up above your head and spread your legs like you finna get patted down, what the machine does is what an x-ray does. It looks through the first layer of clothing to see what you have in you. The machine is designed not to take an actual picture of your body per se, but again, it's going to use a silhouette, and it's going to basically show if there are any metal objects or liquid objects or any type of dangerous objects that the machine is designed to pick up on, and it's going to show the location of it on the silhouette of your body. So anyway, like I said, you can see how that security system is transformed. Unfortunately, this is what terrorism has done to our country, and sadly, this war on terror, you know, is not necessarily an easy fight to win. But yeah, so terrorism, that's basically what it's done to America. So it's kind of hard to fight the war on terror when the whole nation is showing that they're terrified of these terrorists. I mean, in my opinion, the heightened security basically says that. And I mean, let's think about it. If you're a terrorist and you want to disrupt some type of operation, and you've already disrupted it before, it doesn't make real sense to go back and disrupt the same operation that's already disrupted, especially when your operation has succeeded, hence like 9/11. You know, they've already crashed the planes into the towers. They're not going to do that again because they've already made a statement. That's old news. That's now taboo to them. They're not going to, you know, try to blow up an airport or anything because they already know, hey, they already have heightened security. We already have them scared in that area. They're going to say, hey, let's see what else we can do to them. They may find a way to introduce something into some system. And I'm not going to divulge anything like that because I don't want to give out any ideas or any hits or whatnot. But anyway, like I said, I mean, they're always going to find a way to overcome whatever security protocols we have. The issue is that they win when we start to show fear and terror and we're like, oh my God, they're going to kill us all. No, when we get Hillary Clinton up in this thing and she sits down on that womp womp and she's all like, yeah, I'm finna drop the nukes on these bitches. Oh shit, bad gear. She's gonna be like, yeah, press that red button, the ultimate stop button, nuke these motherfuckers. Man, I'm so off today with this shit. Yeah, she's gonna be all like, yeah, nuke all these hoes, and then they're gonna be like, oh shit, these motherfuckers ain't scared. Hey, remember your American history. Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Fat Man and Little Boy, or whatever it's called, I forget the bomb name. Enola Gay dropped them bitches off like turds in the toilet and destroyed that shit, man. Destroyed it. Fuck, what the hell is wrong with me today? Holy crap. Please forgive my profanity and my vulgarity. But yeah. Anyway, that's I'm sorry, went off on a rant. This is more specifically towards airline travel itself, not necessarily the security systems and the effect of terrorism on supposedly the greatest nation in the world, which we are still the greatest nation in the world. But the thing is, we can't forget about that. We can't let terrorism deter us from that. That's why we have a military nation. Now, I know a lot of you all out there don't respect the military. You all don't like the military because you all think whatever it is that you think. But again, without the military, the war on terrorism would have been long over with them being the winners, the terrorists. So you all need to kind of sit back and think about that. But again, remember, the primary goal and objective of terrorism is to terrorize. So if you let terrorists terrorize you and let you feel fear for your life, for your well-being, for your freedom, for what this country stands for, then they've already won. So again, all of us must be vigilant. All of us must work together, help, you know, TSA and Homeland Security and all of that stuff, help ensure our victory and protection. So again, I know the lines at the security checkpoints are sometimes, you know, just ridiculous beyond belief. But again, take the time, be patient, work with them, because now they're trying to ensure your safety as they go through their travels. So that's my take on that. Alright, you cowpokes. So I done did it again. I went to work on my day off, because you know, that's how it is. Got to get shit done. It's how it's supposed to be. Anyway, so moving on to the discussion about the air transit system. The FAA has plans for commercial travel. Now, again, as I was saying at the beginning of this log, you know, a lot of travelers are frustrated with the time. Well, not necessarily frustrated, but they will prefer that they get to their destination sooner rather than later. And so what the FAA is trying to do is make a more efficient air transit system. So I don't know how much you all know about the air transit system, but when aircraft are flying, there is a certain amount of separation vertically and horizontally that they must maintain within the airspace that they're flying through. There are also kind of like highways for cars. There's also highways for airplanes as well. So there are different vectors based off of what airport you're coming from and what tack you're using, or what basically what navigation system you are using, because that's when you're in an aircraft and you're flying, you are to navigate to where your destination is. You actually, or as it stands now, you have to fly over these different nav points or waypoints, and these are stations that are located on the ground that allow the aircraft, or allow the pilots, to know where the aircraft is at a given time. With the advent, or with the introduction of GPS, this has aided, you know, air transportation and made flight a little more efficient, from having to fly to these specific waypoints and having to fly directly over those, then vector off in a different direction to get to where they need to go. Like I said, as it stands now, aircrafts are using GPS to navigate to and from their destinations. But again, the method and the highways that they're using, if you would, that's what I refer to these jet streams. Some of the air highways are along jet streams, but not all of them. But again, like I said, the FAA is looking for a more effective way of getting people to and from their destination. And not even people, but also cargo as well. So anyway, but yeah, so what this new program, I don't know, well, I guess it could be called a program, but what this new frame of mind, what this new transit system is referred to as, if you want to look it up and get more information, is known as the NextGen. So there are a lot of NextGen, this, that, and the other, but this is more specific to NextGen air transportation. All you have to do is go into Google, type in NextGen air transportation, and look for the hyperlink that has the FAA website. And then again, you know, just go look that up if you're interested in it. You don't have to, but like I said, I just want to give you a little background information. I actually had to do a report on this for one of my master's program classes, and like I said, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there to you all and just say, hey, this is what I know, think this might be good for you all. Anyway, so yeah, instead of, you know how normally I will have to show you a diagram. You have to look at this diagram and to be able to understand what I'm about to say. But anyway, when you're flying in an aircraft, if you look from a bird's eye view or from a satellite view, you'll see that there are multiple lanes of air traffic to get into one airport. Let's say, for instance, your airport is Atlanta. Depending on what direction you're coming from, as it stands now, you don't fly straight into Atlanta. You don't fly in a direct line to Atlanta. You actually have to fly from the outside of Atlanta and then loop around, make a massive loop around, like probably a 200-mile loop, to fly back into Atlanta. So if Atlanta's right here, you have to come from way out here, do a loop to come down into Atlanta. What NextGen is going to do is going to have you, if Atlanta's right here, instead of making that big loop, you can just fly straight from here to Atlanta. I mean, of course, you're going to make a small loop just so you can get into the traffic pattern, and so that you can, or for whatever runway you landed on. But again, that's going to cut an extra 200-300 miles, which is an extra 30 minutes, you know, out of your flight, depending on where you're coming from. If you look at some airports, the traffic pattern is ridiculous. I mean, as far as getting into the airport, not even getting into the traffic pattern, but taking the pathway to get to enter into the traffic pattern. But anyway, NextGen is supposed to cut that out. Additionally, when aircrafts are coming down for a landing, or when they are setting up for their profile, which is basically your landing profile is essentially the altitude that you begin descending at. So you have a certain airspeed that you drop your aircraft to, and you have a certain glide slope that you that you maintain. Generally it's about 2 degrees slope. I mean, that's when you're coming in for a landing, but I think it's still 2 degrees of decline when you're starting your profile, and generally it starts at 10,000 feet. But anyway, so you do your landing profile and you start that about 100 miles out, I want to say. I can't remember. But yeah, you generally start your landing profile, if you're a commercial airline, about 100 miles out, so that you can efficiently land in the traffic pattern. Now normally, what they do now is what I like to call the step down pattern. So instead of gliding straight down, they do a step down. So they kind of go forward, drop a few, go forward, drop a few, and I call that the step down pattern. And the step down pattern is basically meant to control your descent and to maintain separation from other aircraft. But again, with the NextGen frame of mind, what's going to happen now is it's going to allow more aircraft to enter into one airpoint in a closer range of each other. So generally, when you're coming in, you have to maintain a certain, mile from one another. I forget what the specific magic number is when you're doing landing, but you also have to maintain degrees of separation as well when you're leaving out of the airport and coming in. Again, NextGen is supposed to cut down on that so that more aircraft can land at one time, thus keeping you aloft a shorter amount of time, so that you don't have to remain up in the traffic pattern for an extra 15 minutes. You can actually land and use that time to get off the airplane and have that extra time to get to your gate if you are on a connecting flight. So it's kind of just works out better for everyone. I mean, generally what airlines do anyway is they try to cheat the system. They'll tell you, oh yeah, we're gonna have a flight time of 2 hours today, and then they get there in an hour and a half and make you think, oh hey, look, we got here early, blah blah blah. But it's always been an hour and a half flight. They just tell you that to make you feel good. But anyway, so NextGen is basically supposed to make air travel more efficient. It's supposed to make it more like the roads. If you think about it, where you're driving down the street and you come to a traffic light, you're not maintaining 10 feet of separations. When you come to that stoplight, you're about 6 inches away from somebody. I mean, from what I've seen, people are 6 inches away from you. But NextGen is basically supposed to condense the amount of space and allow for more aircraft, again, to get into one airport in a short amount of time. So anyway, like I said, go on the FAA website, look up NextGen, and basically look at what it can do for you as a passenger. Because I mean, honestly, I think it's a great thing. A lot of people don't know what the air transportation system, or what the FAA rather, is doing for them. Hey, Smitty. But I highly encourage you all, especially if you get frustrated with the air transportation system, to look that up and figure out more. What the air transportation system has to offer. So anyway, FAA.gov, look up NextGen air transportation system, and just kind of read up on yourself what the FAA is doing for you. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, want me to research something for you a little bit more, drop me a shout out, drop a line, send me a comment, and let me know again what other things you want to talk about, and just hit me up. It's your boy Tuskegee 87, baby, aka Joe Daddy. reminding you to straighten up and ride that thickety thing, right, baby? All right, out.